in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact step-by-step phases that you need to go through to make sure that your business does 100K in the next month. These are the exact same systems that we use for our clients, and they're ripping right now, getting results all the time. So I can guarantee you that these results are going to get you to where you want to be. So if you're idling at around 20, 30, 50K a month and you want to get to those 100, 150K months, this is the exact YouTube sales strategy that we implement that will be able to get you there within the next 60 to 90 days. So like I said, this is a YouTube strategy every business should steal. In this video, I'll break down the same exact strategies that we're using for this client right here, that we've actually been working for him for 1 month now. We've posted 3 videos, added around 63 people to his paid community, and have around a 15% CTR to his paid community. And we're bringing in a bunch of ready to convert leads for him. This is actually at 183 since I made this mirror about a week ago. And we're busy ripping for him as well. We also did the same thing for this client where we booked him 19 calls in 21 days after starting together. After him having no calls, we had a 19K outlier that we still have on his channel and around 300 leads brought in around 24 hours as well. So it's safe to say I know exactly what I'm talking about. So in the next 20 minutes, you should really listen to what I'm saying here and implement what I'm about to tell you. So first thing is ICP centric content. So this is very, very important, right? So you need to be creating videos that are directed to your ICP, even if they're top of funnel, right? So a lot of people like to think that your top of funnel content should be targeting a mass broad audience. That's not true. It should actually be targeting your ICP, but in a broader network. So let's say, for instance, you target 40-year-old dads, right? Because you're a fitness coach, right? Let's just say that's you, for instance. So instead of doing that, your top of funnel content could be something like how to lose weight in 30 days, and you're not targeting your direct 40-year-old ICP, but you're still bringing people that need your service. You're still bringing people that want to lose weight. So that's what I mean by ICP centric content. So your other videos can be like how 40-year-olds are losing weight in 2025, something like that, right? So that's just the idea behind it, right? So you should be using their language and knowledge and knowing how they talk. So considering if you're a coach, an agency owner, info owner, you're setting a transformation and you've most likely made that transformation yourself. So you need to make sure that you know exactly how these people talk so that you're actually targeting them correctly. You need to reverse engineer from their pains to their beliefs, right? So you need to go backwards. You need to work from what is their pain and why do they have a belief in that pain, and what are their beliefs around that pain, and what are their beliefs internally. And you can work backwards from their main pain that they have. So you need to sit down and really focus on what your ICP content is, because this is really the angle that you need to pivot on the most. A lot of people try YouTube and they just don't do very well because they don't actually target their ICP and target their direct beliefs. So if you don't do that, there's a problem. Like in this video, for example, I'm literally targeting a pain point, which is how to use YouTube to scale. People try YouTube and they struggle and they don't do it really well. And that's why this video will work, because I know how to help people do that and I'm trying to give that away for free. That's how this works, right? So an example would be Daniel Fazio. He does this super well, right? So as you can see here, he's got bottom of funnel content right here. So bottom of funnel is obviously super ICP centric and is what converts most of his leads. And then he's got middle of funnel content. And again, it's still targeting his viewers with massive pain points, which is what just if you're scared of not getting results. So that is something that a lot of agency owners are frightened of. And that's why he's targeting this in middle funnel content. It's targeting his ICP, which is marketing agencies or people trying to sell consulting, stuff like that, right? And then top of funnel is the 200K a month organic content system I'd use if I'd start tomorrow. So this is very broad. He's not directly targeting marketing agencies here, or targeting their results or targeting their pain points. He's actually just delivering a outcome, which is the 200K a month. And that's what people are focused on. That's why this makes it top of funnel content. So it's still targeting a broader audience, but it's still his ICP, right? So that's how that works. And that's a very important part of this funnel, because if you don't follow your ICP centric content, you're not going to be targeting the right people and you're just going to be getting a bunch of time wasted on your account. So make sure that you follow this step by step, because if you don't, it's probably not going to do very well with YouTube. So the next thing is differentiation via positioning, right? So this is very important. People come into the YouTube market and try to make videos just like everybody else, right? So they see a competitor doing a video that has, like, let's say 12K views, whatever, and they decide, I'm going to do that, and they get like 200 views, and they're wondering why, if they got that, you didn't get that. And so the reason why is because this competitor still has their competitive differentiation via positioning. So you need to be different and position yourself as different with a different angle, right? So if you don't have a different angle, it's very, very difficult to position yourself in the market. So let's say, for instance, my different angle, I actually have 2 different angles. My different angles that I've been in editing for like 14 years. So I really, really understand what makes a good video. And second of all, we handle the entire process for everyone. We don't just, come on board. Some people do some consulting here and there. We handle everything from ideation all the way till the video is published, as well as appointing appointments. So we do a lot of different stuff, like in terms of angle that makes us different. And you need to figure out what is your angle. I mean, you can ask ChatGPT, you can ask AI what your different angle is. You can collect a bunch of information about your accounts, collect some information about some of your competitors, and then figure out what your actual different angle is, and then go from there. It's very, very important that you do this. You need to find what makes you different in the market. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a sea of people that look the same. You need to implant personal proof and methodology. So you need to constantly be implanting your own personal proof, whether it's for your clients or if you're an info owner, whether that's for yourself, because majority of the time info owners are selling something that they've done for themselves already. You need to be constantly implanting that into all of your videos. You need to position a new belief or angle as the new best path in the industry. Okay, so that's essentially what happens with all these SMMA guys, right? So everyone started off with SMMA and everyone was like, oh, this is the best way to make money. So then what happened was a different angle came into the market, and this was brand scaling, right? Brand scaling is literally just SMMA. It's just a different angle. So the only difference between the two is that you do everything yourself because it's a freelancing. And then that obviously makes it easier because then you don't have any other people. That's literally just a different angle. The business model is exactly the same. You're offering a service to market people on social media. That's exactly how this works, right? So obviously it doesn't have to be as broad as this. So in the info space, you can really target anything. So you can literally target from SMMA down to what your business model is. So if you're like, okay, don't start SMMA, do this instead. Or you can do this for agencies where you can directly target what other people are doing. So let's say for SEO, right? A lot of people are talking about AI SEO. Now, either you can come in and make a shift in the market about talking about AI SEO and why it's better than normal SEO, or you can completely go against the market and say why normal SEO is still 10 times better than AI SEO, which majority of the time it is. And that's you going against the market, and that's you going against what people are doing. Because a lot of people, even I've personally seen this, are going straight to AI for like their SEO and stuff like that. Or for instance, if you're running an ads agency and most people do CBO and you're like, no, we do ABO and we get this results. Or you can have like a unique type of testing method where you test like 100 creatives at a time. Like there's different ways you can do this, right? And I'm sure you have some sort of different angle that you do differently, that you personally know you do. So we'll use Daniel Fazio again for this example because he does this really well. So if I had to reach $30,000 a month, again from zero, here's everything I do. So almost everyone on social media talks about getting to 10K a month. So he's already switching the angle because Daniel only talks about getting to 30. He actually never talks about getting to 10K. He always says how I would get to 30K a month again in X many days. This is exactly what he says, right? So his different angle is always saying 30K a month, not 10K a month. So that is his new angle, right? So most people talk about running ads or cold email. But first, before Daniel even talks about anything, he talks about doing free work. That's another new angle, right? So he does tell you eventually to move up to cold email, right? But if he says if you're brand new and you don't have any cash, he starts about talking about doing free work. That's a new angle because people don't like that. People don't like hearing that. And this is why he differentiates himself in the market and why he's actually such a big power mover in the market right now. Most people are completely against this or have never heard of it before. That's why it works so well. His unique angles and his belief on scaling a brand new agency using free assets / free work, right? We actually did this with Nate, one of our clients, and he's a very, very good example too. So how to make $20,000 a day with pay-per-call, right? So most people talk about SMMA or growth operating, and not only that, they also only talk about making 20K per month. Nate reversed the angle and we talked about making $20,000 a day, which he does, and the new belief that pay-per-call is the only way to get there. So that's exactly what the differentiation of the angle is. If you aren't differentiating yourself in the market, you're never going to succeed, right? So that's very, very important. So now the third thing, which, and I think is probably the most important thing, is market ownership through content, right? So you want to be this guy dominating your competitors. Now, you don't always have to do this because there's going to be some people that find you and never find your competitors, but you do want to be dominating the market in some way and form, right? Because at the end of the day, you want the clients to be coming to you. So the way you do this is by spying on your top competitors in your space. So I know that you're probably wondering, like, why should I do that? If you can't go ahead and look at who's doing well in your market and kind of decide and see why they're doing well, and so that you can start doing well as well with obviously the techniques I already told you, you're not going to do well. Like, people aren't going to really know what you're talking about, right? So you need to find their exact winning frameworks. You need to extract them from their account, replicate them with your own new angles, right? So you need to layer in your unique positioning over their winning frameworks, because that's the way you come in and you shake a market with YouTube, right? So Lander did this super well. So we just handled the production of this video, not the ideation. The person who handled the ideation was Tyler Stetcher. You can find him on X. He handled the ideation of this, but he did did it very, very well. I'm going to show you how he did it, right? So like I said, we just handled the production. So I tried to turn $100 into $200 a week with trading Forex. So this again is someone who does really well. As you can see here, this has 451,000 views. Everyone knows who Alex G is. Everyone knows what he does. He trades Forex. We all know what he does. But Lando switched that, right? So he said, I tried turning $100 into 1,000. So already changing from this method here in a week, day trading. So not Forex trading, day trading. So that's the difference. There's his unique angle. He took a winning formula, a winning video that is already performing on his channel, and then moved that into his channel and just added his new layering, which was the $1,000 instead of 200 and to day trading. So this is the exact same title, but with a different angle. Alex did 100 to 200 in a week. Lando did 100 to 1,000 in a week. Lando came in with a more impossible title angle that made it do really well. So as you can see, I have 62K views. And not only that, Lando's new angle was also a day trading where Alex was Forex. So he's targeting his ICP, which is day traders. So that is very, very, very important. Now, obviously, day trading and Forex go together. He's obviously just targeting a larger market, and then people come in and then might get pushed into doing options, which is what the type of trading he does. That's kind of how the theoretics went behind it, right? So this is phase 2. This is incredibly important. This is the actual YouTube sales funnel that you need to implement. So A is top of funnel content. Now I've spoken about this before and I'll speak about it again. So it needs to be designed for reach and awareness, topics that are broad, pain and curiosity, hook fast, seed beliefs subtly, and instantly verify the title in the first 5 seconds. So take Lando for example, right? So this actually is a top of funnel video because it's targeting a wider trading audience, not directly options traders. So I make $100 using this simple trading, $100,000 a month, making this using the simple trading strategy, not using the simple options trading strategy, right? So we're bringing in a lot of people so we can nurture them and maybe convert them into option traders. So instead of saying I make $100 using the simple options trading, like I said, he doesn't specify so that the new people enter and may even turn into his ICP. So middle of funnel content, this is something we did for Nate, right? So you educate with proof and clarity, show frameworks that solve pain, and demonstrate your method in action. You give away the info because info without implementation is useless, okay? You're going to be selling the implementation, right? So this is an example we did for our clients, okay? This is a direct middle of funnel video. It's specifically education content that only his ICP would be interested in, not a wide audience. So how to structure your pay-per-call agency in 2025 to make 200K a month. The people that don't have a pay-per-call agency would not watch this. But people who come in from his top of funnel content will for sure come in, and if they get interested in pay-per-call, they would move into this, right? So then people enter his world and will get even more interested and watch this type of content more. Okay. And then C is your bottom of funnel content. Directly address objections, case study breakdowns, and here's exactly how we do it still, right? So essentially exactly how we do it is like case studies that are like, oh, here's how we did X, or it's like interviews, right? So this is an example from Daniel Fazio. Again, Daniel Fazio does this really well. Your case studies / testimonials or your bottom of funnel content. These are the converters. These will tackle objections, see your methods and work, and get you the most money with the least amount of views. You'll probably find that this video here that has 1,000 views, which is performing quite, it's less than what he usually gets, is probably converting at a much higher rate at all the other than all the other content, right? So this is very important to have as well, having case studies and breakdowns. Now the third thing is the engine that scales it. So essentially the cadence and exactly how you should be doing this to be able to implement these strategies and for them to actually work, right? So this is a constant schedule that we follow and works super well for conversions. So essentially you start off your month with a top of funnel content. So you bring in people. So by the end of the month, you might even be able to convert some of these people as well. So you bring in these people and then moving down your funnel. Then I would move into 2 middle of funnel content videos that produce a lot of education and a lot of people to understand what you do, right? From there, either go back to another top of funnel content, or I'd move into a bottom of funnel content if you have one, right? And then I would definitely start to implement that very, very regularly. I would even say you move this up to 3 times per month. If you have a chance to do it, I would definitely do that. And then essentially you create something called the flywheel effect, right? So the most non-random videos you post, the more trust you will gain. The more trust you have, the higher your close rate will be, and evergreen views will always equal evergreen leads. So essentially what the result is for this is a minimum of 8 to 12 ready to convert leads in 30 to 60 days. Listen, if you are an agency or coach and have a new account, this can take longer, but we see with info specifically that even if it's a new account, it works within probably the first 3 videos. Like my client Nate, obviously he had like 3 or 4 other videos on his channel, but that's still a pretty new account. But with agencies, it can take anywhere between 60 to 90 days especially for it to create a compounding effect. But that's exactly how you would do it. This is the result you can look at when you're trying to implement this, and you should easily be able to scale / add on an additional 30 to 100K a month using this strategy. So If you want help and you're an agency owner, info owner, or a coach, you can click the link in the description and we help you with everything. We take care of everything from ideation all the way to posting the video, market research, appointing appointment setters, sometimes even running your Instagram funnels for you. So if you want that, you can go ahead and click the link in the description. You can book a call and we can have a quick chat. If you have any questions, you can feel free to message me on Instagram or X. I'll answer any questions that you have. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.